When we think of autumn gardening, what usually springs to mind? Right, that heavy spade, all the digging, and clearing away plant debris. It often feels like a never-ending, utterly exhausting process. We've been taught that a clean and freshly dug garden bed is the secret to a bountiful harvest. We strive for that perfectly pristine surface. But what if I told you that these very actions might be creating more work for you in the spring? What if they're actually stripping your soil of its vital energy? Today, we're going to talk not about aggressive tilling, but about living, breathing soil, the kind that will do all the hard work for you while you relax all winter long. So, let's unlock autumn's biggest secret. Let's start with a common misconception that's been passed down through generations. Many home gardeners still believe that deep fall digging is an absolutely essential and the most crucial step in preparing garden beds for the next season. Shovel in hand, your back aches, and the thought running through your mind is, now the soil will definitely be loose, fertile, and ready for a bountiful harvest. But let's be honest with ourselves. Does it always deliver the results you hope for? And is it truly necessary for every single bed in your garden? Perhaps you've noticed that after such extensive digging, the soil in spring often feels even harder, and you have to break up stubborn clumps with renewed effort. What exactly is going wrong here? What if I told you that your shovel isn't always your best friend in the fall, and sometimes it can even be your enemy? Deep digging, especially when you're turning over full, spade-depth layers of earth, doesn't just fail to help. It actively destroys the soil's natural, age-old structure. Imagine a layered cake. Each layer has its own unique ecosystem, home to specific microorganisms perfectly adapted to their conditions. By flipping these layers, you're essentially staging a full-blown revolution in this microscopic world. Beneficial aerobic bacteria, which need oxygen and thrive in the upper layers, suddenly find themselves buried deep where oxygen is scarce. Meanwhile, anaerobic bacteria, which prefer oxygen-free environments, are brought to the surface. This leads to an imbalance, the death of beneficial microflora, and a disruption of nutrient exchange. The soil simply loses its vital energy. It's like turning your house upside down and expecting it to be cozier. The true star of our story today isn't a shovel or a hoe, but the very structure of our soil. Our real aim isn't merely loose dirt as we usually think of it, but genuinely fluffy, vibrant, living soil. Imagine something so incredibly soft and airy that seedlings practically melt into it, and plant roots effortlessly penetrate to any depth, soaking up a maximum of nutrients, water, and air. This is soil that, even after a heavy rain, won't turn into an impenetrable crust. Instead, it readily absorbs moisture, preventing puddles and surface hardening. And this brings us to the first, yet crucial, secret of autumn garden preparation: generous and proper winter mulching. Mulch isn't just a simple blanket for your garden beds. It's a true protective and nourishing shield. Firstly, it safeguards the soil from wind erosion, preventing that valuable top layer from being swept away. Secondly, it provides excellent insulation, shielding the soil from drastic temperature swings and deep freezes, which is absolutely vital for preserving the life of beneficial soil microorganisms. And thirdly, and perhaps most importantly, mulch gradually breaks down, continuously feeding and stimulating the activity of all that precious soil life. It acts as their winter restaurant and shelter, nurturing the soil for the upcoming season. Not all mulch is created equal, and for successful autumn preparation, choosing the right organic materials is key. So, which ones should you reach for? Look for materials that break down slowly, offering a steady supply of nutrients and enriching your soil over the long haul. Here are some top picks. First up, fallen leaves. This natural, free, and incredibly valuable resource is packed with micronutrients. Crucially, ensure the leaves are healthy and free from any diseases. Simply spread them evenly over your garden beds to a depth of 10 to 15 centimetres, 4 to 6 inches. Next, straw. This is an excellent choice that breaks down slowly, retains moisture effectively, and creates a wonderful microclimate for beneficial soil organisms. You can apply a generous layer up to 20 centimetres, about 8 inches, deep. Third, consider dried grass clippings. It's vital that the grass is thoroughly dried. Fresh clippings can rot and mould, which is exactly what we want to avoid. Once dried, these clippings are a great source of nitrogen and organic matter. And finally, well-rotted sawdust or wood chips. These decompose even more slowly, providing a steady supply of carbon and significantly improving soil structure. A word of caution: avoid using large quantities of fresh sawdust, as it can temporarily deplete nitrogen from the soil. A vital reminder: never use diseased plant material or weed seeds in your mulch. Our goal is to enrich the soil, not to spread problems or introduce new ones. When chosen and applied correctly, the right mulch will be a true gift to your garden beds this winter, setting them up for a thriving spring. Secondly, an equally crucial element of our autumn strategy involves nourishing not only the plants to come, but the very soil they grow in. More specifically, we're talking about feeding the billions of beneficial microorganisms living within it. Think of soil not as a mere inert medium, but as a living, breathing entity that requires consistent nourishment. It's these unseen powerhouses, bacteria, fungi, and worms, that are the primary architects of that rich, crumbly, and fertile soil structure we all desire. They diligently break down organic matter, unlock vital nutrients for plants, form valuable humus, and enhance aeration. Unfortunately, many gardeners often overlook this crucial living ecosystem. They tend to focus solely on mineral fertilizers, which, while undeniably important for plant growth, don't actually feed the soil's own vibrant life. Our goal, however, is to cultivate an environment where these microorganisms can truly thrive and actively work throughout the winter, diligently preparing the soil for the spring awakening. We need to provide them with ideal living and breeding conditions, offering a bountiful feast of organic matter. Only then can they truly unleash their full potential in building that incredibly fertile, life-giving layer. Here's where organic matter truly shines, the very engine of soil fertility. Fall is the perfect time to incorporate compost or well-aged manure. These aren't just fertilizers, they're the lifeblood of your soil. Compost is liquid gold for your garden. It's packed not only with essential macro and micronutrients, but also with millions of beneficial bacteria, fungi, and readily available nutrients that plants can easily absorb. Manure, on the other hand, is a highly concentrated organic source that significantly improves soil structure, making it looser and better at retaining moisture. But it's not enough to simply scatter organic amendments across your garden beds. Proper application is key. Avoid burying them too deep. Organic amendments should ideally be worked into the very top layer of soil. Alternatively, simply scatter them on the surface and then cover with a layer of mulch. Why is this method so effective? Because the top 5 to 10 centimetres of soil is where the most active biological life flourishes. This is home to the majority of aerobic microorganisms that require oxygen. They will actively break down the organic matter, releasing precious humus and enriching the soil. Throughout the winter, earthworms and other soil inhabitants will naturally distribute these valuable nutrients deeper into the soil, creating ideal conditions for robust plant growth the following spring. But what about cover crops, you might be wondering? These green manures are another powerful autumn ally that many gardeners often overlook. Essentially, these are plants we sow not for their harvest, but solely to improve soil health. They serve several crucial purposes. Firstly, their deep root systems penetrate the soil, breaking it up and improving its structure. This is essentially a natural biological tilling that doesn't disturb delicate soil layers. Secondly, cover crops produce a significant amount of green biomass. Once mowed and incorporated into the soil, or simply left on the surface as mulch, this biomass enriches the soil with organic matter. This provides essential nourishment for beneficial soil microorganisms. Thirdly, they protect the soil from wind and water erosion, and actively suppress weed growth, preventing them from taking over your garden beds until spring. It's an excellent natural way to prepare your soil without resorting to chemical herbicides or tedious weeding. Imagine your garden beds are working for you even through the winter. So, which cover crops are ideal for fall soil preparation? There are some clear favourites that perform exceptionally well when sown late in the season. Oats, rye and mustard are excellent choices. Oats and rye are cold-hardy cereal grasses that quickly develop substantial green growth, even as temperatures start to drop. Their vigorous root systems effectively loosen compacted soil, while their above-ground growth enriches it with organic matter and suppresses weeds. By spring, they'll have formed a dense cover that can easily be tilled into the soil or left as a protective mulch. Mustard, a member of the brassica family, is another fantastic cover crop. It germinates quickly, rapidly establishes green growth, and is highly effective at suppressing weeds. Beyond that, mustard boasts biofumigant properties, deterring certain pests and suppressing the development of soil-borne pathogens. It's especially beneficial after nightshade plants like tomatoes and potatoes. It's crucial to sow these cover crops in early fall, allowing them enough time to establish significant green growth before hard frosts set in. Then, you can either mow them and leave them on the surface, or lightly incorporate them into the soil. This way, by spring, your garden beds will not only be protected, but also enriched with valuable nutrients and boast a significantly improved soil structure. Now, let's talk about drainage and aeration. How can we achieve ideal soil aeration without a heavy spade or back-breaking digging? The key is simple: healthy soil. When soil is alive, rich in organic matter, and teeming with microorganisms, it naturally handles drainage beautifully. The correct soil structure isn't a dense monolith, but a multitude of small aggregates, allowing air and water to circulate freely between them. Imagine a porous sponge. It readily absorbs water, but doesn't hold onto it excessively, letting plant roots breathe. Aeration isn't just about artificial methods, like mechanically aerating a lawn. It's, first and foremost, about natural processes, and this is where our best, most tireless helpers come into play. Earthworms. They are the true engineers of the soil. By digging their numerous tunnels, they not only loosen the soil, creating vital channels for air and water, but also constantly mix its layers. What's more, by passing soil through their bodies, worms enrich it with their vermicompost, a high-quality organic fertilizer, packed with nutrients readily available to plants. The more earthworms you have in your garden beds, the better the aeration, drainage, and consequently, the overall fertility of your soil. Our task is simply to create comfortable conditions for them to live and thrive by providing ample organic matter for their sustenance. And here it is, the secret almost no one uses, yet it can completely transform your garden: fermented organic fertilizers. This isn't just organic matter, it's a living biological powerhouse for your soil. So, what exactly are they? They're organic waste, things like food scraps, plant residues, and manure that have gone through a fermentation process with specialized, effective microorganisms. The result is a product not only rich in nutrients, but also packed with a powerful complex of beneficial microflora. Why is this so important? Because these fertilizers don't just feed your plants, they literally kickstart your soil, populating it with an army of friendly bacteria and fungi. These microorganisms get to work immediately, breaking down organic matter, improving soil structure, suppressing pathogens, and making previously unavailable nutrients accessible to your plants. It's like giving your soil a powerful vitamin cocktail, while simultaneously introducing a team of tireless super workers. This kind of nourishment not only boosts fertility, but also significantly enhances the soil's immunity, making it far more resilient to diseases and pests. Have you ever heard of Bokashi? It's a fantastic example of fermented fertilizer, and incorporating it into your garden can truly revolutionize your approach. Bokashi is a Japanese fermentation technique that transforms everyday organic waste into a valuable, nutrient-rich fertilizer, brimming with active beneficial microbes. Typically, it's made from bran or other grain waste, inoculated with a special solution of effective microorganisms, EMs, and then fermented in an anaerobic environment. Once added to your soil, Bokashi unleashes a torrent of beneficial microbes. These microscopic powerhouses quickly establish themselves, rapidly multiplying and working tirelessly to break down organic matter, significantly improving soil structure and actively suppressing harmful bacteria and fungi. They make the soil remarkably loose, well aerated and rich in humus. The impact of Bokashi on soil quality is profound, transforming it into a living, breathing and incredibly fertile medium. It's one of the most effective ways to jumpstart natural biological processes in your soil and achieve that wonderfully fluffy texture we all strive for. So, how does this work in autumn? Applying fermented supplements like Bokashi or liquid EM solutions in the fall kickstarts a beneficial chain reaction. They activate the soil's microbiology even before colder weather truly hits, then keep it working whenever temperatures are above freezing. These microorganisms begin vigorously breaking down organic residues, everything you've added with mulch or compost. This means that by spring, most of that organic matter will already be transformed into readily available nutrients for your plants. Essentially, you're giving your garden beds a significant head start in the fall. Instead of waiting for the soil to wake up in spring, you're ensuring it actively works all winter long to create humus and valuable nutrients. This prepares your soil for the earliest possible spring planting. The soil will be not only rich in nutrients, but also beautifully well-structured, airy and warm. Such an autumn head start significantly accelerates plant growth in spring, boosts their immunity, and of course, increases your yields. It's an investment in your future harvest that starts paying dividends right with your first spring plantings. But there's another crucial factor many home gardeners often overlook, focusing solely on organic matter and soil aeration. This is the correct soil pH, its acidity or alkalinity. Why is this so important? Because pH directly impacts how readily your plants can access essential nutrients. If the soil is too acidic or too alkaline, even if you apply plenty of fertilizer, your plants simply won't be able to absorb or utilize those nutrients. It's like eating the most delicious and nutritious food, but being unable to digest it. The result is stunted growth, weak plants, and ultimately significantly reduced yields. For most garden crops, the optimal pH level is typically between 6.0 and 7.0, meaning slightly acidic to neutral. If your soil is too acidic, essential elements like phosphorus, potassium, and calcium become locked up and unavailable. Conversely, if it's too alkaline, you'll start seeing issues with iron, zinc, and other crucial micronutrients. Therefore, understanding your soil's pH and adjusting it when needed is a fundamental step toward achieving healthy, productive garden beds. Let's talk about how fall garden preparation influences soil pH. Autumn is the perfect time to adjust soil acidity because any changes can occur gradually and evenly throughout the winter months. If your soil test, or even common weed indicators like horsetail, sorrel, and plantain, suggests acidic conditions, fall is the ideal time to add pH-raising amendments. The most popular and effective options are hydrated lime or dolomitic lime. Hydrated lime works more quickly, but dolomitic lime offers an extra benefit. In addition to calcium, it provides magnesium, a crucial nutrient for many plants. These materials should be spread evenly over your garden beds and then lightly raked into the topsoil, or simply left on the surface beneath your mulch layer. Throughout the winter, rain, snow, and the activity of soil microorganisms will help these amendments gradually dissolve and spread evenly throughout the soil profile, slowly correcting its acidity. By spring, your soil will boast a more optimal pH level, making all the vital nutrients you apply much more available to your plants. This creates the perfect foundation for a bountiful harvest. And finally, let go of the obsession with a clean garden bed, scrubbed until it's sterile as an operating table. This pristine aesthetic, so often showcased in gardening magazines and photographs, can actually be detrimental to your soil's health. Allowing healthy plant matter to remain on the surface after harvest isn't a mark of laziness or neglect. Instead, it's a smart, natural strategy for soil preparation that nurtures its life and fertility. Think about a forest. No one clears away the fallen leaves and branches there. They remain on the ground, gradually decomposing, forming valuable humus and protecting the soil. Similarly, in your garden bed, leftover plant stalks, as long as they're disease-free of course, small weeds, grass clippings, all of this becomes food for soil microorganisms and earthworms. This natural mulch layer protects the soil from freezing, wind, and water erosion. By spring, most of this material will have decomposed, enriching the soil with organic matter and improving its structure. Picture this: spring arrives and your garden bed is already waiting for you. It doesn't require back-breaking tilling, breaking up hardened clods, or endless cultivating. It's already soft, aerated, incredibly fertile, and teeming with life. You simply clear away any remaining mulch, make your planting holes, and pop in your seedlings. Isn't that every gardener's dream? Give up on unnecessary work and allow nature to do its job. It does it far better than we ever could. And here it is, the ultimate game changer. The main secret to successful autumn garden preparation isn't about working hard with a shovel. It's about creating the perfect environment for the soil itself, for its microorganisms, worms, and fungi. These invisible yet incredibly effective helpers will transform your soil, making it as light and fluffy as down. This means come spring, you'll put in minimal effort. Your soil will already be loose, fertile, and ready, and your harvests, they'll be richer and healthier. Less work, more results. Isn't that every gardener's dream? Your shovel can take a well-deserved break. Remember, healthy soil is living soil, and autumn is the absolute best time to lay the foundation for its thriving future, so it becomes as soft as velvet by spring. Thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. We truly hope you discovered something new and valuable today. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next gardening secrets. And, of course, leave a comment. Have you ever tried skipping deep digging in the fall? Or do you have your own secret ingredient for preparing your garden beds? Share your experiences. We'd absolutely love to hear them.